Hey guys, what's up? I look really unkempt today because it's Christmas morning and I didn't really want to do anything, so I just kind of put a hat on and called it good. I mean, I got out of my previous pajamas into more pajamas, so I mean, I kind of got dressed. It's something. So anyway, before I kick this video off, which I kind of just did, but I'm gonna give you guys a few announcements. First of all, I did change my channel name to AutmoGizmo. I'll get to the reason I picked that name in a second, but I changed my name because it used to be Sophie's World, and that was like a really popular name for people named Sophie, or I'm assuming their name's Sophie. I mean, my name's not Sophie. It's spelled like S-O-P-H-I-E, but it's actually pronounced Paul. Just a little fact about me, fun, right? So I changed my name because it was kind of hard to search, because if you search that name, a bunch of other channels would come up, but it wouldn't necessarily be my channel. And also, I want it to be a little more original, because a lot of people will have like their name and then pop World on the end, which is fine. That's a great channel name. And I kind of like Sophie's World because there's a book called Sophie's World, and I thought that was kind of cool. But I changed it to AutmoGizmo. And if you search AutmoGizmo, there will probably be another AutmoGizmo that comes up too, and that is actually my old channel from when I was like younger, like in middle school. I mean, you can feel free to check that one out too, but it's not that great quality. I mean, I don't know, it's from a long time ago, but it's still kind of cute. But I picked AutmoGizmo because my snake, I have a pet snake and his name's AutmoGizmo, and it's also kind of a unique name. Like, you know, I haven't found any other channels with that name, and it's easy username to take and stuff because like no one else has it. So when I was younger, I had like a speech impediment. Like, I have a lisp now, but it was a little bit more magnified back then. So I couldn't say SHs or S's and things. Like, I could say them, but it would sound really like slurred and kind of weird. Like, it wasn't that big of a deal. If you knew me, you would still understand what I was saying. But a lot of these words I don't think are really blamed on the lisp. I'm sure I mentioned I lived in a different state. We pronounce things differently in different states sometimes. We have accents, we learn different things. My words don't happen to be learned differently, but still I lived in a different state. Did I mention that? So when I was younger, my parents used to buy Skim Milk. You probably know what that is, but if you don't, it's just milk with a different amount of fat in it, different percentages, but it's just regular, like, plain white milk. It comes from a cow, you know. It's fun kind, right? I mean, just milk. But yeah, I thought it was skin milk. Like, I thought that's what it was called. I didn't think it was like from the skin. I just thought that's what it was called. I thought it was called skin milk. So I went to school one day and we were on the playground, and for some reason my friends and I were like naming foods, and the teacher was pushing us on the tire swing because we were in preschool. And so my friends were like, you know, cookies, things, normal things. And I was like, skin milk, because I thought it was like, you know, that's what it was called. And I had to be very particular. Instead of just saying milk, I had to be like, no, I have to tell you the kind of milk, skin milk. Well, you know, I learned a lesson that day. It's after I said that, all these other kids were like, oh yeah, eyeballs, guts. And I was like, what? And I was like, no, I mean, you know, the white milk, it's skin milk. And I was trying to explain it to no avail. I was just preaching to the choir. And then the teacher was like really grossed out. She's like, ew, skin milk, what's that? And then I was like, you know, the milk. And it all went downhill. And then, you know, but I learned something, so it was worth it in the end. I guess. Fast forward a couple of years to first grade. Now, I moved to a different state and I started a new school, and we had a teacher there that, you know, she would read to us, which was amazing. I love being read to. I mean, I love reading. I don't really like being read to now. I can kind of read on my own. But, yeah, she would read to us, and she had this picture book that she read to us 1 month, or not, it didn't take a whole month. It was like a day in a month. So she read us this book this one day, and it was about angry mobs, and it was about this girl that got killed by angry mobs. But the whole time I thought she was saying angry moms, and so I went home, and on the ride home, which was about like 5 or 10 minutes, I was talking to my mom in the car, and I was like, you know, we read this book today about angry moms. And she was like, what? You mean like moms that get really mad? And I'm like, no, angry moms, like a group of people that like run through a town and kill people. And she was like, what do you mean? Like a bunch of angry moms get together and have like a meeting and they get mad at their kids? And I'm like, no, angry moms, like this went on for like 20 minutes. And I was getting more and more heated with like every second that went by. I was like, you know, the angry moms, like the things that run through the town and they kill people, you know? And I was getting so mad, and I was like, you have to, like, I would get frustrated if people didn't know what I was talking about. So I was like, you know, angry moms, like, and I was getting so frustrated. I followed her throughout the house saying this over and over again until finally, as she was about to enter the bathroom and get some peace and quiet, she turned around and she chose that moment to go, you know, I think, do you mean angry mobs? And I was like, oh, that's it. And then I went downstairs and that was the end of it. But you know, at least I learned a lesson, because nowadays you won't see me going, hey, you guys know about the angry moms? Because that would have been really awkward. So my parents thought it was really cute to like just kind of like lead me on and go, oh yeah, she can learn these words that way. Like they didn't think of correcting me. Like they thought it was okay for me to like grow up thinking these words were different than what they really were. It wouldn't be a big deal, it wouldn't impact my future. But I mean, it kind of did, because I went to, like, again in first grade, we had this test where we would read the words on a page, and as opposed to reading the words like, you know, in the sky or whatever, that's more of like a second grade thing. So in first grade we read these words, and then we would, like, they would judge us on how fast we read and how many words we got right and things like that. So, I did my test, and I mean, I was a really good reader back then. I mean, I love to read now even, and I've loved reading ever since I was little. I grew up with my parents reading to me, so I did a pretty good job, except for the word carton. I had to think about that for a second because I almost said what I said back then, which is curtain. I read the word not once but 3 times, and I said curtain instead of carton, and they marked me wrong for that one, because my parents, they knew I said curtain instead of carton, but they were like, oh, that's really cute, it's kind of like adorable, and just kind of, we don't want to correct her. So going back a few years to preschool again, see, all of these took place in my past. I totally don't mess up anymore. I'm like perfect. I mean, we all aspire to be, but what was I saying? So when I was in preschool, I used to get stomach aches. And what's better to cure a stomach ache than Pepto Bismol, right? That really gorgeous pink stuff that is supposed to cure stomach aches, but instead it just kind of makes you throw up and then you feel better because you're like, oh, that tasted really bad, but at least now I'm better. Yeah, it was like, I mean, my parents always had some in the cupboard and stuff just in case. So when I was little, I got this really bad stomach ache, and I was like, guys, and you're gonna learn about my snake and my channel, the origins of their names in this story. So when I was younger, I got a stomach ache, and I'm like, I was little, so I couldn't really talk as elaborately as I can now, but just for the sake of the story and not being like kind of a weirdo and creepy, I'm just gonna tell the story as I think it would be now if I, you know, did this now. So I was like, guys, my stomach hurts and I need some AutmoGizmo. And they're like, what? And I'm like, I need some AutmoGizmo. And I couldn't really say, this is confusing. Okay, so I couldn't really say a lot of words. So I just kind of kept saying AutmoGizmo. And so I guess this isn't necessarily as if it were happening now, because I can say more words. So this would be like if it was happening now and my whole vocabulary went away except for like made up words, then that would be more realistic. I was just saying AutmoGizmo over and over again, and they're like, what is that? And so I was like a short little like peewee toddler, and I walked over to the cupboard and I was like, that! Went into the Pepto Bismol. And they're like, oh, Pepto Bismol. But, you know, I don't know if that really cleared it up, the misconception for me. I think I still called it AutmoGizmo for a long time. But hey, I mean, I'm from a different state. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we all have those moments when we were younger. I had a lot more, but for the sake of time, I just told like the 4 main ones. Also, I can't really remember the rest. But, yeah, we all had those moments when we were young. Yeah, we all had those moments. I'm sure we all had those moments when we were younger at some point in our life. Or maybe we even have them now. I mean, I do. I'm having one right now. Normally I get a lot of snow. Excuse me, sorry. I'm sure everyone had like a moment or two like that, and if not, then aren't you just perfect? Thank you guys so much for watching and hearing my life story. Leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you like my videos. And my social media links will be down below. I try to post sometimes more on Twitter than on Instagram, but you know. Yeah, thanks guys. And leave a comment below about a word that you messed up when you were younger or even mess up now, because then maybe I won't feel so bad about myself and we can be relatable together. And yeah. When I was younger, I'm like, hey, you guys want a curtain of Skim Milk? Because, you know, everyone wants a curtain of Skim Milk, right?